Hey guys, it's Steve Auchettl here from Down Under, and yes, that means Australia. And yes, I love cooking shrimp on the barbie, although I much prefer a steak. And no, unfortunately, we don't ride kangaroos to work, although that would be a lot of fun. But talking about Australian stereotypes is for another time. I'm also the owner and founder of the Business Help Box. Thank you very much for joining me here on this completely free video series. Now, if you're like other business owners out there and entrepreneurs out there, you or at least someone you know has wasted thousands of dollars having a new website created with all the bells and whistles only to never generate any real leads or make any money from it. Am I right? Even if you're driving traffic to your website, spending a bunch of money on Google AdWords or any other form of advertising, I bet you're really not converting the way you expected, and even worse, the way you know it could and should. Don't worry though, you're not alone here. There is a very common mistake that pretty much everyone overlooks when having their website created. I know this because I made the same mistakes early in my own online endeavours before I finally realised what was wrong and why I didn't create many, if any, sales through my websites. More on this later when I tell you what I've learnt from spending thousands and thousands of dollars so you don't have to. It's awesome information, so stick around. In this video series though, I'm going to show you everything. My entire unique and proven formula and systems of building and creating trust online in order to get sales and create long-term repeat customers. This system will work for any business, small to large, services to products, you name it. Did you know though that less than 1% of people visiting a website for the first time will actually engage or make any form of contact on it, let alone buy something? So how do we get the user on the website to actually engage with us and come back over and over again, constantly increasing the likelihood of them to contact us or buy from us? What's the answer? What is the key component that is constantly missing and the single most important factor with anything you do in any business? What is the one thing needed to actually create a lead or sale online? What's the one thing that has allowed me personally to travel all around the world, maintaining and growing my customer base as I relax on beaches, sip on some Italian coffee, and check out the pyramids in Egypt? It all comes down to one word: trust. Now, let me explain quickly what I mean here. Firstly, imagine a recent business meeting that you may have had with a client in person, face to face. Chances are you made sure you made a first great impression. You, me, and everyone does this subconsciously and automatically. Those who are trained do this by consciously dressing nicely, professionally for the field you're in, and using techniques learned through studies on how to quickly and effectively build trust and rapport. You make sure you arrive on time, your hair is done, and any makeup for the women or even men, and the venue you choose is a nice place and everything is in place before you ever meet your client to let them know what you have for sale. Once you're looking good, you then figure out what you're going to say to the client, or at least a rough idea. You might have a presentation to show them, perhaps a brochure or a booklet to learn more about you, your companies, different success stories, and things like that. Remember back to a time when you nailed a sales pitch in person, or when someone presented an offer to you that was too good to say no to. Wanting to buy something from a certain person or company is no mistake. And now, why don't people put the same time and effort into their online appearance? It's the same concept, but in digital form. And thus, your site fails to create trust, which fails to create sales. But you can easily and quickly change all of this. Good to know, right? You need to have everything prepared though. You need to look professional, act professional, and need to have the strategies in place so you can guide the potential customer through a process of getting to trust you, know who you are, and know exactly already what you've done in the past, and that you're the expert in that field. Remember those success stories we talked about? Everything has to be laid out step by step by step as you increase trust with your client as they learn more from you and about you over time. I spent nearly a decade learning by trial and error how to make this possible and the easy tools and strategies to implement. Yes, I have failed many times, and most things I initially tried never worked. But once I realised the main principle all types of businesses need to focus on, and then using some simple strategies to create and build trust and relationships with people online, everything changed. Even better, I've been able to put it all in autopilot mode. I've been able to have a lot of really great success with less and less work. I'm here in beautiful Florence, Italy, after deciding to take that leap of faith, and thanks to some influence from a special someone, I'm now able to leverage and use different online tools and strategies to continuously create more and more sales online as I travel all around the world, working from cafes here in Florence or chilling out at the pyramids in Egypt. Or even here in sunny California, where I can just relax and enjoy the beaches while still maintaining and building that trust online. Now, I'm super excited to share this all with you, as being able to help improve your own life is really my biggest drive and what I love to do the most. Nothing here has been held back. I'm literally putting all the same strategies that we use for Fortune 500 companies, as well as hundreds of business owners all around the world, right in the table in front of you. So pay attention, take some notes, and watch these videos multiple times, since I've laid tons of information for those paying attention. In this series, we're going to talk about why trust is important, how to build it, how to use it once you've got it, and all the steps, tools, and processes you can use to make it work for you. This first one you are watching right now will be a general overview to get a good idea as to how it all works and comes together. In the coming videos, I will then show you step by step in detail how to set everything up properly and how it should be all laid out, both for easy user experience and for best results. I'm going to show you the strategy behind one of our clients' great successes, where within only about 30 minutes, we had to shut everything down because they had sold out of their entire course. Imagine those results for you and your own business. Quickly and easily, what could that do for you? I'm going to show you how personally I had people seemingly out of nowhere suddenly declare that they would be my customer for life, and others who I hadn't talked to for ages suddenly coming back to me and ready to work with me again. I'm going to show you how to easily use automatic follow-ups with people online, and how I use a simple launch sequence strategy to have a massive 20% buy-in rate from a couple of emails. Compare that with the average of around 5%. I'm going to show you the easiest and most effective ways to drive people into your site, which uses things like Facebook, Google, and things like that in an easy, non-confusing, and finally a purposefully driven manner. How to easily get joint venture partners not only on board but excited about it as well, and how to use a bunch of other free tools and applications out there with much greater results. Then I'll teach you how to drive in the sale, put this all on autopilot, and repeat over and over again. So today we start with the overall plan and why we need to be trustworthy online. In the next few days, you're going to receive the second video in this series, which will go into much more detail about each section and how to use it properly to increase your trust online, which will, of course, increase your profits. The videos come every couple of days because there is so much content in each one. We want to make sure you have all the time to watch them carefully and implement all the strategies to get the most value. So, to start us off, can you think of why trust is so important and why do you need it online? Think about all the different emails you open every day. Some of the ones you will check regularly, but I bet the majority of them are from unknown senders to who are constantly sending you emails you very quickly hit the delete button for. Thanks to these spammers, as well as a lot of other, not so nice people who will happily take advantage of anyone, we are all much more skeptical when it comes to doing anything online. Being able to then prove and reinforce your own brand again and again with people online, as well as having things like referrals of friends and other simple techniques you can implement, is where we can start to build the trust and rapport with customers who we rarely meet face to face with. This is the same things that has helped me to get to where I am now, but it definitely wasn't something I figured out overnight. As like many of you out there, all of the first websites I created, and after spending all my time and money learning all the different techniques for things like search engine optimization, link building, AdWord marketing, I tried nearly all the different designs and printouts for offline ads, brochures, cards, and the list went on and on. But nothing really worked overly well, and not a lot of the sales were ever made this way. Being a typical entrepreneur, I went dead broke quite a few times as well. But thankfully, no longer, and you don't need to live that way anymore either. We've all had those low points. For me, it was the day I could only put $3.40 worth of fuel in my car because it was all the loose change I could find on the floor of my back seat. So, with my shy nature at the time and wanting to only create sales without meeting face to face, not working, I started learning from those who had the success I was looking for. I spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars and a great deal of soul into practicing the techniques. I did this so now you don't have to. I've combined everything I've learned from these courses and teachings and rolled it into this simple and easy to use process. I don't tell you this just for the sake of telling a story about myself, but just so you realize that these strategies I'm sharing with you didn't just get made up out of thin air. So, after a lot of preparation, hard work and refinement, I finally had face-to-face meetings down pat, you beauty, and would almost have guaranteed a sale anytime I met with someone. But I had bigger plans to travel more and more and didn't want to get stuck being available 24/7 in order to keep my business alive. So when it comes to creating trust online, people need to know straight away that you are who you say you are. Can they trust that your business or product really works? Can they trust that you are the best in your field and your business? These are all strategy concepts that these videos will cover. So let's actually get into it and let's look at the flow of it all. If you look over here, you can see there are a ton of ideas you can start using to market and start leading people into signing up for your own database. These may be any websites you have online, different social media outlets like Facebook and LinkedIn, maybe joint venture partnerships, any ads, both online and offline, personal contact, previous customers, or whatever it may be. We will look into this a little later because to start off, I want to show you the middle sections of my diagram as it's what everything is revolved around, which is all about growing your own list and database. Now, for those who don't know, when I mention a database, I purely mean a list of people you have generally speaking their clients, customers or potential customers, that you can then send a bulk email or SMS or a handful of other contact methods to. A database normally will end up having people's name, email address, home number, phone number, and whatever else is relevant to your industry. This list is crucial to any business that wants to make sure that not only do your existing customers have you on the back of their mind and are coming back time and time again, but it also allows for new and potential customers to get to know who you are and why they should be buying from you. You can have people sign up to your list in many ways, but always focus on automation. That way, you're not tied to your keyboard. In the online automation, In the online world, automation is the key to success, freedom, and recurring monthly revenue. Because of this, we've actually built our own system that will allow you to do everything I talk about here. But that's for another story for another time. For now, just know that creating automation online is really so you can focus on what matters most in your life. Be that your family, your friends, going on vacations, disco dancing, whatever it may be. It can be done both online and offline. For instance, if you have a storefront, you might want to add people who come in and buy from you. Or even if you're just networking at a conference somewhere, you can still add people to opt into your list and have automatic follow-ups. Being online, people can sign up directly from your website, your blog, even your Facebook fan page, or whatever they may be. The next video you'll receive soon, which will go into the details about this, which will help you grow your list quickly and will actually net you results. At the very least, a massive 500% increase overnight. Not bad, right? The problem is though, trying to ask someone for their personal main email address can be a hard thing to do. Unlike the old days where people were happy to give away their email address to anyone, today people really need a good reason and need to have some form of trust with you before they ever will. Just like you would in real life, wearing and looking your best. Your website or blog or Facebook page or whatever the form of getting people to sign up to you is, even if it's the physical form in your store, it must all match the same professionalism. A few quick ways is to include things like a clean layout, professional photography, and even showing how many people like you on your social networks, yes, like you, also helps a lot. To collect their addresses, their email addresses that is, especially when it's done online, and to create that first initial point of trust, you will also need to have some form of incentive offer to help them think it's worth it. Online, it may be some sort of free coupon to your product or service, an ebook download, or a video series, just like this one. And yes, you guessed it, this video itself is part of this entire strategy and my system. Or even some simple follow-up tips, emails or reports. Offline, it could be things like a quick discount or extra bonus, things like that. In my experience, it's amazing how receptive people can be when you only take 2 extra seconds to ask someone if they want to join your VIP mailing list in return for a quick 10% discount. More about that later. So, once you have people signing up, you need to do 2 things with your new list. Write this down because it's very important. The first one is to send automatic emails and follow-up messages immediately after sign up, which will quickly and quite often be pointing them to downloading their free incentive product you're offering, or to view the free video you're presenting. Here's a tip. Don't send more than 1 email per day, and no more than 3 per week. It gets to the point where people stop paying attention, or even worse, they unsubscribe, which you really don't want. These automatic emails, also known as autoresponders, can be done in many different ways, such as doing a timed product launch. So a particular offer is only available for a set period of time, such as a couple of weeks, which prompts people to take action, and due to the level of urgency, they want to buy now. Other ways could be just a basic follow-up emails where you're sharing your advice with them over a few emails and over time. You can either be helping them improve their life or their business, or even just sharing something fun and exciting that they are interested in. But ultimately it's about them. Write that down actually and repeat it out loud. It's all about them. This one single component is so incredibly valuable. Everything has to be about them. Them being your customer or potential customer, of course. From the incentive to the product, to how you speak and interact with them. This matters online more than offline because we have the digital barrier in front of us. Your incentive to get people to sign up, to be part of your list, needs to be about them, not you. Showing that you are and your business are the experts and most trustworthy to buy from, and that you care about them, will get you far on the path of building real trust. The second thing, and the other stream at the bottom here, as you can see on this diagram here, is all about staying in constant touch with your customers, to continually reinforce your brand by delivering valuable content and advice and information to them on a regular basis. Here's another tip. Don't sell them in every email. The only trust this builds is that every time they see your name in their inbox, they know they're about to be pitched to. Think about what you like to see from the people you follow. Doing this while not being intrusive is the key to follow some of the guidelines we mentioned here. Once your list has begun at any level, 50 or 50,000, you should then start referring them to other places to keep them up to date with you that they use regularly as well, such as your blog, Facebook, and any other social networks they might use. Using webinars or even real-life seminars, you can also introduce people on your list to grow your relationship with them. This is easy when done right. This all allows for them to keep you in the back of their heads at all times, whether they suddenly realise they want your service or products, or hear about friends or colleagues that could benefit from you. I'm sure you can start to figure out just how powerful regular contact can be and is. Both of these strands then lead towards the end goal, which is obviously for a business to create mutually beneficial or profitable relationship. Having for you and for you to end with having more sales. Now, as long as your service or product is really worthwhile, is good quality and does what you claim it to do, you're good to go. Consider the fact that people who buy from you, no matter the dollar amount, are on average 23 times more likely to buy from you again. I'll repeat that. People, no matter what the dollar amount, are on average 23 times more likely to buy from you again once they've already spent $1 or more with you. So, that means you can repeat all of this over and over again, put it all on autopilot, once it's set up, and continue to build and grow trust in your business and generate more and more sales at greater and greater levels. Get ready. We're about to do some maths that is very exciting. I love maths personally. And we'll clearly show you how simple and easy it is to make money online using what we've been talking about. And what our next videos will just compound upon. Ready? Alright, so let's say you build your initial email list up to say, 1,000 people, which is really quite small, but just an example, and we offer an entry-level product which costs you $97. If we get the open rate of the emails up to say 50%, which again I'll explain later on how to get this, and even more as the normal average is around sort of 15 to 25% if you're lucky. So Okay, we've got it up to 50%, so we're doing well. And that's 500 people reading your email. Now, in my testing, the sale rate at this point of the process is quite often and normally sitting around 5% success rate for the entry-level product. That's a pretty standard sort of rate out there. If not higher, like my own 20% success rate. But just to be on the extreme safe side, we'll go with the 5% to start us off, as it depends on how good the list is and also how good the offer is. By the way, just so you know, if you're trying to get a sale without using this system, the likelihood is well under 1%. It's also important that you realize that this is for an entry-level product, which I will talk in detail about in the 4th video. But if you are about to buy something from a company you have never heard of before, think about, you wouldn't really feel 100% comfortable spending thousands and thousands of dollars initially. So that's why we start, and let's say we start off with a $97 price point. If, say, 5% of the 500 people reading the emails sign up, then that's 25 sign-ups, which is about $2,500. This is not where you start making the fortune from. In fact, if you don't make any profit here, that is completely fine. So, out of those 25 people who buy, we now have the rest of their contact details, which means more ways to follow up with them, plus we have a chance to prove ourselves to them, which makes them 23 times more likely compared to people who haven't bought from you before to buy again, and bigger and bigger. Suddenly when we start to offer our bigger packages and service rates to be in the hundreds of dollars or even in the thousands and beyond, then these people trust you much more and will not only start buying from you and become a long-term customer for you, but as long as you deliver, like really deliver on everything you say, they will start referring their friends and their family and whoever else they come across to you. You can suddenly sort of see, if you increase the initial amount of emails just by simple strategies like we'll talk about in the next video, but some like joint venture partners or increasing your Facebook ads or whatever it may be, to increase that, so say you've got 10,000 people on your list, which yes, I'll take you through as to how to do this. Suddenly the end result increases dramatically. Improve it to 20 or 50,000 and you can suddenly imagine how the biggest issue you have is trying to work out the next country to tour around. Not bad, right? I really hope this all makes sense and you can see that the power of creating trust online and how so many businesses are struggling online because they just don't have it working for them. In the next video, I'm going to dive deeper into this process and start to show you exactly what needs to go where and how everything should be created and set up step by step. It's going to be seriously valuable and could be the big game changer for you, in your life and in your business. In the meantime, make sure you leave your comments below. If you have any initial questions or if you just want to say g'day and introduce yourself to us all, I personally read through every single post written below. So make sure you look out in your email inbox in the next couple of days for the next video, as it will be ready very soon. And yes, feel free to share this video with all your friends and spread the message. Cheers everyone, and I'll see you again soon.